Tired of using Google Forms that look plain and don't automate anything? Let me show you Fillout, a powerful, modern alternative with built-in automation and Airtable integration. Check it out. Welcome back. I'm Zack from InnerDev Solutions. We help businesses streamline their processes using custom no-code tools so you can focus on what matters most. To learn more, you can visit our website, innerdevsolutions.com, or use the link in the description below. Google Forms has a bland design, no branding or limited branding capabilities, weak conditional logic, manual workflows. It needs other tools for automation. With Fillout, you get a lot of these options and features built right in, with the ability to still integrate with many other tools. As I mentioned off the top, you can integrate with Airtable, but there's plenty more that you can integrate with natively. And if you do need that advanced functionality, you can also use tools like Make, Relay, and Zapier to take it even further. So let's get into it here. If you do not have a Fillout account already, you can create one. There's a link in the description below to get started for free. First thing that we're going to do, we are going to dive right into the dashboard when you log in. This is what Fillout has recently released a new tool as well, and it's also built right into Fillout. It's called Zack. This is a AI app builder. Think something like Lovable. It allows you to build apps and integrate with their Fillout platform already. That's the form builder, or Airtable as a database. They also now have their own database in the back end, so you'll see that here. We're going to focus on the forms. They also have scheduling, so think Calendly or Google Appointments built right into Fillout here as well. But as I mentioned, we're going to focus on this forms. This is the dashboard that you get. You can create different workspaces. The main thing what we're going to start with though is we're going to jump right in and click create, and we're going to create a new form. From here, you have a few options. We can create a blank form or start from scratch. We can go off of a template that's already created. As I mentioned, you can connect with third-party apps and databases. Let's say, for example, you have an Airtable database that you want to create a form for. Could be really simple, like contact management, something along those lines. And you want external users to complete the form, and then it logs to your Airtable database. And I'll show you what that looks like shortly, but you can get started using that option. And if you already do have Google Sheets, Airtable, Notion, whatever you see here, SmartSuite, for example, set up, I would recommend going this way because it's automatically going to map the fields that we create in the form back to the database. And then lastly, we have this import existing form option. If I select it, we can import an existing Fillout form. We can create one with AI, which is a cool option as well. We can just describe what we want our form and the questions to be, and it will pull in all of the fields. We can import from a third-party tool like Google Forms, Typeform, Jotform, etc., and then import from a PDF as well. But what we're going to do is just go in blank form. You have an option to create a whole bunch of different themes depending on the plan that you're on. You can even make your own. I'm just going to select the light one for now. So that's where you can get a lot more creative and create way nicer looking forms than you can with Google Forms. I'm just going to call this my form. And now we are starting from a blank slate here. And on the left, we can see at the top, there's a few frequently used field types. But if we scroll down, you can see there's a whole bunch of different field options that we have here to choose from. Like I said, some of the main ones right here, but you can also add in just display text. These three don't actually allow the end user to enter any data, but you can add some extra descriptions. You can make things look a little nicer. If I select banner, we can add banner title, a description, and choose the color of it as well. This is how you can add some additional design capabilities to your forms. If we scroll down, we have options for drop downs, checkboxes, which are pretty common, different date picker types, ratings and rankings, basic text, contact information, email, phone number, address. There is on the higher tier the ability to add a Google Maps integration to authenticate or validate the addresses that users are entering, numbers, and then a bunch of miscellaneous types of options as well if you want to get a little more advanced, along with images and PDFs as well. High level, that's everything that we're going to look at for now on this. And you can also add additional pages. So if you want to break things out so the form doesn't feel as long, we could have contact information on one page and then more specific details on a second page. as well. And that's all using this add page here. Now you can also see we have a form. So that's where the users are importing the information, and we can have multiple pages of these forms. We can have a cover page, an ending page, a review submission page. We can also collect payments with Stripe, which is really cool as well. And then on the premium plans, we can have a login functionality. And then, as I mentioned, we can also build in the scheduling into this form as well. There is a ton that we can do here. From this page that it's created for us by default, add a few things. Maybe I'll add in full name, I'll add in a date, and maybe I'll add in an email address as well. We'll go email input. As you can see, if I select on it, I can just drag around and align these side by side and have them in order. And there's a whole bunch of settings on the right side. Depending on the type of field, if you select into it, we can see that we have a caption, placeholder, default value, required, half width. You can add in additional logic on the field level. For example, let's say if we wanted to add in a checkbox or an email address, right? If the email address is entered, we'll give them the option to receive some sort of newsletter from us, and they can select a checkbox there. Let's actually go ahead and build that. I'll click checkbox, drag it in, want our newsletter. And what we can do is on the right side, we'll go to logic, and we only want to show this when the email field is not empty. I can go down here and say is not empty. If I go preview, we can see it's not showing right now. But as soon as I start typing my email, it will show up here and say, do you want our newsletter? And the cool part about doing that is this is where we can get into some of the integrations and automations. Let's say we want to add someone to our newsletter. We could go into integrate here. And if we scroll down, depending on where the newsletters get sent from, but as I mentioned, there's the HubSpot integration. And if we go into more integrations here, we can see there's Brevo, there's Active Campaign. And if we scroll down further, we have options for Make or Relay or Zapier. And this is where we connect with our emailing, our mailer type of software, whether that's Beehive, Klaviyo, etc. We can add and connect with all of those different types of tools, and we can add an automation or an integration to say this user wants to receive our email or our newsletter. And that's just one of many types of integrations and automations we can build. If we go into workflows, let's say that we want to send a thank you email. We can go into the workflow and we can choose from one that's been pre-built for us or a blank workflow. So I'm just going to go into thank you email. We'll create this. And when the form is submitted, it always starts with a trigger. We will send an email. And if I click this plus icon, we can see there's a bunch of different options here as well, built right into Fillout, which is really cool. There's filters and branches as well. And that's where we can add conditional logic to our automation, not just to the fields that are displaying to the user, which is also really fantastic. If we click into edit, we can customize the email that you're going to get, and we can add a basic style formatted. We can change the theme type as well. You can also add logic to the different form pages. Let's say we have a second page here, and we can just leave this as page 2 for now. Based off of some selection here, we may want the user to just end the form and submit it, or we may want them to continue on to a second page. So let's say again, for example, if do you want our newsletter is selected, then it will go on to page 2. So if we click this logic here, this is for the page logic. We can add this little plus icon. So for example, if that checkbox is not selected, we just want it to end automatically rather than going to page 2. We can just click, drag across to ending. We'll set this condition as, do you want our newsletter? If it is not set, then it will go to the end page. Otherwise, it will go to page 2. Now we can hit X, and if I go into preview mode, we can see that once I enter my name, right now it just says submit right here, and that will just submit the form. But if I start typing an email, it will come up with, do you want our newsletter? And as soon as I select this, it should say next, which it does, and it will allow me to go on to the next page. I'll hit next because I don't have any fields on the page 2 then it's just saying submit. Now, before I show you how to integrate with Airtable, I'm just going to navigate into the pricing. It shows you all of the different features at the top. And as we scroll down, we can see that there is a generous free plan that allows a lot of the basic functionality. If we get into the starter plan, it allows more responses and some additional functionality as well. And you can see each option from here. And if we scroll down, we can see what all of the different options are. There is unlimited seats on whatever plan that you're on, so you're not restricted by per user or per seat. We can see all of the additional features, such as the PDF document generation that's built right in as well. I can scroll down and you can see there's a lot of different options depending on the plan that you are on. Just a couple more things. What I want to show you is how to integrate with Airtable. I'm just going to quickly delete this page 2 here, and we've got the page. Now I just want to go to the Airtable table that I've got set up, and we have a name, date, and amount. So I want to make sure that I have those options as well. So I've got name, date, and I'm just going to type in currency to search, and we'll bring in the amount as well. If I go into integrate, I can go Airtable, InnerDev demo is fine, and I just have to reconnect with Airtable. I'll select this here and then choose my Fillout example table. Now that I've selected it, I can grant access, refresh this page, and I should be able to select Fillout example and just table 1. Now I can hit continue, and I want to create a record. If I go finish setup into edit, I can map these fields quite easily. Now I'm going to select full name. I'll go up here. It's not connected to anything. I can select name, date, and amount. And now these are all mapped properly. Here's our ending. And if I hit publish, we can give this a test run. And I'll just enter a random name, today's date, and a random amount. If I hit submit, it has successfully submitted. And if I go back into our form, I'll go results. And we can see the results directly within Fillout as well. So we can expand it and see a lot of the metadata that was available. Go into Airtable, into my Fillout example. We can see it also created a record here. There is a lot that you can do with Fillout. It is a very powerful tool between customizing the way that it looks and also the way that it integrates and automates with a lot of different tools as well. It's endless what you can do, and the power of it to sync up your data with other tools and databases like Airtable and SmartSuite, even Google Sheets or HubSpot if you wanted, makes it super powerful. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more tutorials in the future.